Welcome to the Oxygen Alliance YouTube channel, where we bring you videos on installation, maintenance, and various trainings on oxygen equipment and devices. If you have comments and or questions, drop them in the comment section below or write to us info@oxygenalliance.org. Remember to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell.
Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us for today's partner talk brought to you by the Oxygen Alliance. My name is Daphne Magela and I'm a biomedical engineer under the Open O2 initiative. The partner talk is a virtual meeting where we discuss various topics related to medical oxygen supply. I'm hosting this call from Lilongwe, Malawi, and I would like to know where you're joining us from. So please type your name and location in the chat. If you want to be part of our emailing list and get notifications of upcoming events by the Oxygen Alliance, please type your email in the chat. Today, we have the one and only Mr. Kapalamula, a senior biomedical engineer at Kamuzu Central Hospital here in Malawi, and he will share with us the vital methodologies of 5S KAIZEN and total quality management in enhancing the productivity of maintenance activities in your maintenance workshops. I'm excited to have all of you join us today, and I encourage you to take notes as we look forward to hearing your questions and comments at the end of the presentation. So without taking much of your time, let me hand over the floor to Mr. Kapalamula. Over to you, Charles.
Thanks a lot, Daphne Magela, for the opportunity to be here and make this presentation. My name is Amos Kapalamula. I'm a senior biomedical engineer and I'm working at the Kamuzu Central Hospital. I'm here to talk about 5S KAIZEN. So the main objectives of this presentation is actually to define and prioritize health system problems, which is to optimize efficiency, quality, and of course patient outcomes, and also to establish criteria for building effective teams and recognize the important roles of leadership in team development. We are also going to clarify the concept or concepts of their significance in driving change and of course fostering continuous improvement within our facilities. And we are also going to introduce the pyramid of management, which is actually the core purpose of this presentation. So the pyramid of management as a strategy guide and also an outline of 5S KAIZEN and of course total quality management methodologies for the process enhancement. And at the very end, we are going to illustrate practical implementation of 5S KAIZEN and total quality management methodologies. So this is going to come from the case studies from within our facilities in Malawi and of course beyond Malawi. Before I begin everything, we must understand that highlighting the challenges within the health system. So this presentation is actually aiming at identifying and prioritizing the key issues which are affecting efficiency, quality, and patient outcomes. So it is also emphasizing the importance of teamwork. So we'll delve into assembling a functional team and also the pivotal role of leadership in driving change within the healthcare landscape. And we are also going to explore together the dynamic concepts of leadership and discuss how leaders can catalyze change and nurture a culture of continuous improvement within the healthcare organization. So first things first, let's look at this concept of problems. The issue of problems to us, I think it's actually not a difficult thing. Everybody here has ever made a problem and everybody knows what a problem is. So it's just like you are in a kind of situation and you would like to achieve something of greater value. But now for you to get there, it means there is a gap in between. So this is what a problem is all about. So the problem is actually the gap or the current undesirable situation and the future ideal situation. So it's like you are here and you want to reach somewhere. But now how do you get there? So to get there, there is actually a gap. And this gap is the one which we identified as a problem. So if you look into our health systems, you are going to discover that almost every health system, maybe where you are working or every hospital you have ever visited, you will notice that these are the common problems which we face. So there's low client satisfaction, technical gaps, insufficient medical equipment, sometimes shortage of health commodities, insufficient health financing, and of course shortage of human resource. So these are actually very, very common problems which we face. And just imagine maybe you visit a facility and you notice the following, that a lab test is actually lost from that facility. These are common issues. And also people are waiting so much actually on the queue just to get a consultation. Maybe a patient has also died from sepsis in ICU, and also a death from a wrong drug infusion or a failure in supply systems. And maybe some workers are also very impolite and lazy. So these are some of the things that we actually very common to notice when we happen to visit the facilities. And in our workshops, maybe the medical engineering or the maintenance workshops, these are also common issues. Lost equipment and tools, delayed repairs and calibration, incomplete documentation, inefficient inventory management, poor communication, and all the way to limited collaboration with the health care providers. So all these are problems, and it's about problems. So before we go to the solution, like what are we supposed to do to deal with these problems, I invite you to this slide whereby we are going to talk about the hospital structure. So if you have ever visited any hospital, this is what you are going to notice. At every hospital, the structure is like this. There is a central services and logistics. So this is where the hospital director, the administration, the procurement office, the finance office are found. The HRs are found under central services and logistics. And also, there is a front line of diagnosis. So this is another service which provides treatment, diagnosis, and of course follow-up, and of course health promotion. And mostly when we visit hospitals, actually people they take hospitals as what they think of the hospital is just the place where they are going to find nurses, medical doctors, and the radiographers, maybe lab technicians. But there are also other people that we actually don't see, or other services which are actually operate from the backyard. So these services are services like maintenance. Maintenance are services which actually don't come in front. They don't meet patients like as the first line. So they are not as first line as the medical doctors to patients. So you will notice that if the system has low employee satisfaction, definitely that system is going also to achieve low client satisfaction. So this is actually what is going to come about. And this system is actually regarded as the system which has actually collapsed. So if employees are not satisfied, maybe they are not promoted, maybe they are not given the enough resources, all these things, they come together and lead to low client satisfaction. So what are we supposed to do in order to deal with this problem? Then we must strengthen the management. So how do we strengthen the management? The management is supposed to be strengthened by having a very good team or teamwork, plus leadership, or if we have a very good leader. So it means we take our time, maybe a bit of some minutes, just to look at team or teamwork, and of course the leadership. So let us look at what are the requirements for the team. So on this slide, you are going to differentiate between a team and a group. If you see that a team is a group of people with one goal. So for example, you go to work, and within our working environment, we have got a goal which is common to everyone, and everybody is striving to achieve that goal, and everybody knows clearly what is going to achieve. So you are a department with a particular goal, and you are working towards that goal. So this is actually called a team. But a group can be people maybe in the same department, but everybody has got his own objectives. So this also happens maybe in our department, someone coming to work, not necessarily just to achieve what the other friends are really want to achieve, but maybe he has got his own objectives. Or it may happen also maybe in markets whereby you are going there to buy some relish, somebody is going there to do something else, someone is going there. So everybody has a particular thing to achieve in a marketplace. So this is what we call a group. So what we are focusing much here is actually a team, the one which has got one goal and everybody is striving to achieve that goal. So there are actually good reasons to form a team. So these are the reasons to solve problems by drawing on the talents of a variety of individuals, and also to foster togetherness in workplace, to reduce or eliminate a lack of communication among staff members, to achieve a solution that might be unpopular to some, but it is the desire of the majority. Maybe I should explain a bit of on this one. We as engineers, when we are working in our workshops, you might have made a scenario whereby you struggled so much to find a solution to the problem. Maybe the machine has been down for quite some time, but because you're a group, it is easier to find a solution to the problem or to come in with a breakthrough. Someone will just come in with a breakthrough so quickly and you achieve whatever you were supposed to achieve. But maybe when you work alone, you find it hard to find the fault. And another thing is to heighten productivity by encouraging the atmosphere of cooperation. So there are actually these three elements which are actually required for us to form a functional team. So a team has a goal which is actually shared, so everybody knows what is this supposed to be achieved. There's also stable membership. So if you have been members for quite some time, then you know each other very well and you understand each other very well. And with this, you are able to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So with this one, it is easier to achieve greater heights. And also sharing roles. A leader is actually supposed to share roles. You are not supposed to do everything alone as a leader. So if you have a team, everybody in the team must be involved in a particular task. Otherwise, one may not be participating and will lose track. And there's also a need for smooth communication. So where there's no communication, definitely you cannot achieve everything. So communication must be there so that we must work together all the time and everybody should be taken on board. Leadership, sharing outcomes. So whatever comes out, for example, maybe the department has achieved something. So everybody must know that the department has achieved something. And that something is actually not an achievement to the department or to the head of department alone, but it's an achievement for the team. Like everybody in the team has actually, everybody isn't in the team is actually very much involved. There is also a need for mutual trust. And this is one of the requirements, making 7 requirements for a functional team. Now, let's go to leadership. As we said that we are supposed to have a team or teamwork and, of course, leadership. So all these things must come together so that we must achieve a very good management. So I take you to this slide whereby you have got these are leaders. We have Abraham Lincoln, Idi Amin Dada, we have Mahatma Gandhi, Adolf Hitler, Nelson Mandela, this is Martin Luther King Jr. We also have Mother Teresa and of course Kamuzu Banda, Hastings Kamuzu Banda. So all these are leaders, and all these leaders, there's something that defines all these leaders. All these are called great leaders, but you will notice that they did not lead the same way. So everybody had got his own style of leading. So the thing is, what is leadership? It is actually the attributes that make someone actually a very good leader. So let us look at what is leadership or who is a leader. So a leader is a person who proactively guides or indicates the way forward of the team. So someone who is in front and is actually guiding or indicating the way forward for the team. So leadership is just the action that the leader is doing. So all these attributes which are over here are describing who a leader is. So a leader is there to guide people. A leader also sometimes can command people. He also influences people. He also lead people. So it means he is in front and everybody is actually following him. So there are actually 3 important jobs for the leader. So let me start with the first one, which is a leader must set objectives or goals. So a leader must set objectives or goals, and these objectives or goals must be achievable objectives. So there should also be different objectives which are logically linked, and he must also harmonize the hospital strategy and the ministry policy. So sometimes maybe a leader can come in with some other objectives which are actually not aligning with what the government wants, what the policies really want. And the second thing is about unity of the staff. So a leader must make sure that there's no division amongst the staff. If you are leading the department, it means there shouldn't be fights within the members. All of them must come together and everybody must work towards the goal. And also, the third thing is personal care. So if you're a leader, you must deeply understand the team you are leading. You must deeply know even personal issues about the people whom you are leading. If it's knowing someone's family, you must know deep about the one you are leading. Whether his issues or anything else which is supposed to be known to you as a leader. You must know all these things, because knowledge of these things will help you at some more point to make decisions even better, or even as you distribute work within the department, you are able to distribute fairly and considering these things that you have known everyone better. So the combination of all these things, then they achieve the management. So I take you to this page. Let's look at this. We have got 1, 2, 3, all the way to 8. So this is a team. This is a team. I don't know whether it's a team or it's a group, but you may be in a good position now to understand what it means. But in this one, you notice that the head of department has a goal. And the number 1, number 3, number 4, 6, 7, 8, all of them are also heading the same direction as the head of department. So it means 7 people in this group, in this team, are heading towards the head of department. They have the same goal. But you may notice that there is number 5. So number 5 is actually heading another direction. He's also having his own goal. He's not having the similar goal as the head of department. But you may notice that this number 5, he's also influencing his fellows. So 3 and 4 are also involved. They have joined him. They are supporting him, even though they are also supporting the head of department. So this is a very common situation whereby you have a goal in your department, you want to achieve something, but not everybody is actually working towards that. Some also have got their own objectives. So it happens that someone, maybe because he's highly skilled, and then he decides to isolate himself. Or maybe someone is highly experienced, so he thinks that, I know this head cannot tell me anything else, so I will have my own objectives and goals. And sometimes maybe someone is a graduate from university, and then he thinks that he knows even better than whosoever he has found over there, and he has got his own line of thinking. So all these things are problems which we actually meet. Now, what are you going to do as a leader? Then maybe sometimes you say, no, I'm going to report it to the HR department so that this one should get fired, and then I work comfortably here. But maybe that's not the solution. So this is the solution. The solution is the 20-60-20 rules. So this solution, we have an example here whereby one says, the leader says, let's do 5 years. But you see the 20% is the positive followers. So they are always in support of the head of department. So they want to support him, the 20%. But the other 20% is saying, no, we cannot do this. As you can see, they are demonstrating over here. And we also have the 60%, which is actually not really positive followers or against. They are neutral. They're in the middle. So it is the duty of the leader to convince the 60% to join the 20%. In so doing, you are going to make the 80%. And the 80% is going to influence the 20%. So this is the solution to that problem. So it is actually a thing that we all have to understand, that in a department, not everybody is going to like us. Some are not going to like us, but you have a goal and everyone has to go towards the goal. So if you achieve the 80% work towards the goal, and later on the 20% is also going to be part of you. Now, let us go to the pyramid of management and of course outline of 5 years Kaizen. So let's look at 5 years. 5 years is a philosophy and a way of organizing and managing the workplace and of course the workflow, with the intent to improve efficiency and by eliminating waste, improving flow, and of course reducing process of unreasonableness. So this is actually the main aim of 5 years, is just to improve the working environment. As you can see over here, 5 years is just none other than 5 S's, 5 Japanese S's, as written over here: Seiri, Seitoni, Seiso, Seiketsu, and of course Sitsuke. And in Chichewa is Sankulani, Sanjani, Saritsani, Samaritsani, and of course Sungitsani. So this is the 5 years in English, in Japanese, and of course in Chichewa. And what it means, by sorting, it means to remove unused stuff from your venue of work, and of course to reduce clutter, and also to organize everything needed in proper order for easy operation. This is the setting itself. While shining, it means the word shining, it means cleanliness. So it means you clean and make the place look neat. You standardizing it, that's setting up the above 3 S's so that it must be a routine issue. So every day you must do this thing to sustain. So it means the staff and everybody in the department must be trained, and also to improve self-discipline for the other 4 S's which are mentioned above. So 5 years started in industry. It was started in 1980s. So in the manufacturing sector in Japan as a Toyota production system. So it was started by Toyota, and it was later used in 1990s. So this is when other industries decided to adopt it. So to you and me who are engineers, this means that 5 years is actually a concept of engineering. Maybe to other sectors, it means it's just going there because it's adopted, because it's a good thing. So that's all about it. Let's look at another thing, which is what 5 years can do. So if you're doing 5 years, it means the teamwork is improved through everyone's participation. So if you're doing 5 years, definitely you're going to improve participation and of course teamwork. And this is true. We have been doing 5 years, like maybe at our facility, and you see everybody involved. So if everybody is getting involved, it becomes a good thing that you also improve like the teamwork. And you also identify abnormalities. The moment you start doing 5 years, that's when you notice that you have kept some other things for quite some time and you have not used them, and maybe these things will never be used anymore. Or maybe some have expired and they must be thrown away to somewhere else. And you also identify waste and reduce the waste. So these are the 7 ways we are talking about: overprocessing, rework, transportation, overproduction, inventory, waiting, and motion. So all these are the waste. Maybe someone may wonder, how is motion a waste? But you might have noticed there are some other people who keep walking. Maybe you have noticed this. People keep walking at a department or at a facility, but not really doing anything. But everybody else looks at them and says that this guy is actually very, very busy because he's moving up and down, but he's actually not achieving anything. So this is also just another waste, which is called motion. We also improve productivities, and we improve safety. Where 5 years is done, actually, that's a safe environment to work. So if there's no 5 years, it means you hesitate what to do. So if you're an engineer sometimes and there's no 5 years, sometimes you don't know where to start from. So you procrastinate some other things, like, I'll do this later, because you really don't have an idea on what to do. And also you make mistakes. You see, you also make mistakes because maybe you don't have a strategy, you don't have a guide on how best you should do. And also you remember what to do, or remembering what to do or how to do it becomes a problem. And also looking for necessary items also becomes a problem. So maybe you're a pharmacist, so you're looking for a certain drug. Now you don't know where the drug was put. Or maybe you are an engineer, you are looking for a fuse in your department, but it takes you so many hours for you to find out where the fuse is actually put. And let's look at the definition of management. So management, so management is all about planning, organizing, leading, and of course controlling. So this is just a simple definition about management. So now, I now take you to this. This is a pyramid we are talking about. So for us to achieve this pyramid, it means we are walking towards the goal, which is up above there, right at the top. So for us to get there, we need to walk step by step. Each one of us, maybe we are having this presentation from our offices or maybe from elsewhere, but we understand that we moved from elsewhere to where we are right now. But we did not just jump from where we were to where we are. Our movement had been step by step. So it's actually a step-by-step approach for us to get there. So the first thing that we are supposed to do for us to achieve our goal, and our goal is to provide the proper medication for community residents. So for us to get there, we need to improve the working environment. So the working environment must be improved. So how do we improve the working environment? That is by doing 5 years activity. So the sorting, the setting, the shining, the standardization, and of course the sustaining has to be employed. And for us, once we get there, then it means we go to step number 2, whereby there's a need for team building for us to achieve this. So once we are doing 5 years and everything is okay, then teamwork, we said it was already in the previous slides that we achieved teamwork. So it means team building and teamwork has been achieved. So once we achieve this, this is going to be possible because we are going to share goals, we are going to have step membership, and all the things that we also mentioned earlier in the other slides. And when we reach at this moment, actually there is a problem which we also notice. You might have noticed that whenever we are working in our environment, there are actually 2 problems, which can be defined as Muri, Muda, and Mura. So these are the Japanese terms. Muri means overburdened, Muda means waste, and Mura means irregularities. So it means we must reduce the overburdened. So at our workplace, we notice that someone works more. Maybe because someone is much conversant with that machine. So every time he goes to work, he decides to use that machine and not another machines. Or maybe that engineer knows much about that machine. So it means once he goes to work and that machine is down, the rest of the engineers will sit down and observe him as he fixes that machine. And another thing is Muda, which is waste. So at every workplace, there are also waste. Sometimes you can produce so many things than needed. So it means maybe you are producing more cylinders than needed, or maybe you are taking so many samples than the machines can handle. So these must be reduced. And we must also reduce irregularities. So how do irregularities come about? It's because maybe at our workplace, maybe someone doesn't know how to do something. So when he goes to work, there are actually so many mistakes that he's actually bringing forward. So these irregularities must also be reduced. And once we reduce the irregularities, or Muda and the Muri, so the Muda, Mura, and the Muris, once these have been reduced, then it means rather the way to reduce these things is by improving the capacity of the people. So the people working over there must have capacity. So to reduce overburden, maybe the other equipment must be maintained if the other equipment are down, or maybe if it is because someone knows something better than the other people. So it means the other people who don't know much about that machine must also be taught on how to use the machine. We must also improve the logistics so that if we are producing more, the other things also must be utilized accordingly. So that is about improving the logistics. And We must also develop the SOPs. So we must have methods. So if it is because if you are, or rather if you are coming up with so many irregularities when you go to work, for you to improve that, there must be SOPs, standard operating procedure. So everybody who goes there must simply follow the SOPs and be able to achieve what was required. Once we get there, then it means we achieve the 7 managerial targets. So if all these are improved, it means productivity is also improved, is increased, the quality is also improved, cost is reduced, and the delivery system also improves. Safety, morale, and morals, all these improve. And once we get there, then we achieve these 3 social value co-creation, which is improved services or products. And of course, client satisfaction and employee satisfaction. So these are the things that are seen at the managerial level. So if it's a hospital, we'll say at that hospital, once we go there, the services are actually very good because actually you have done a series of actions within your service and you have improved to the extent that you have achieved the heights that everyone can say or can see with his or her own eyes that things here are really working perfectly well. So once we get here, so that's what it means by the pyramid of management. And in a wrap up, this is what it means. So with 5 years, you improve the working environment, whereby you do 5 years, and also you have a teamwork, you achieve teamwork. And the other step of problem solving is called KAIZEN. So KAIZEN is in some context is also regarded as is referred to as continuous improvement. And at the very end, which is at the most top level, that's the total quality management, which everybody can appreciate. So we have got this picture. This picture is just an example of what I was explaining, and it's common right now in Malawi. It's made by JICA. So it is simply explaining the same thing that I've just explained, that the 5 years is a stepwise approach. You start with 5 years and you go to KAIZEN and total quality management. Now, let's look at some of the examples about 5 years activities, which is actually taken from the example, successful case studies. So maybe before we get there, let's look at 5 tools of 5 years, or rather basic tools of 5 years. So these are the ones we have got red tags and all the way to cleaning campaign and events. So I'll go one by one. So this is red tag. So red tag is used especially when we are sorting. So when you are sorting some other things and you are failing to identify whether this is necessary or not necessary, so that's when you put a red tag. So you might have kept the item, you put a red tag and put an item for at a particular place and wait for some time. After some time, you will then notice that maybe this one was used faster, or maybe it took so much time to be used, or maybe it was not used at all. And then you relocate to the recommended place. Another thing is numbering and alphabetical code. So as you can see, we have got files over here, and these files are numbered. This is a common practice in our where we keep our files, and even in the libraries and other stores. This is labeling and taping. So labeling, you can see over, this is a label which is showing a Ministry of Health Central Hospital cylinder number. So this is the number of cylinders. So it's a label or sticker, you put it and everybody knows. And also have a door here which is showing us that this is a seminar room. And we also have this one which is called taping. So taping helps us just to, you tape all the items, whether files which are in your storage place. So with this, you are able to know that someone came here and removed the file. So this is called taping. And another example, another tool is alignment. So you just order things in a line, as you can see over here. Zoning, that's another thing. This is another example of zoning, whereby we have got different containers where we must put waste for waste segregation. And we also have this another example depicted from our workshop, whereby it's showing a delivery bay with all the concentrators which are supposed to be found within this zone. And these are symbols, as you can see over here, just telling us to where a trolley must be found or walker. These are safety signs. So safety signs are here, just telling us that maybe this is a no-go zone, or as you enter here, you please protect yourself. We also have signboards. So like this one, Ministry of Health and Population Zombas Mental Central Hospital. So this is just a signboard. It's also an example or a tool for 5 years. And this is showing Ethero maternity wing and all the other departments found at this facility. We also have color coding. On this one, as you can see over here, if you have waste, then you know where to put depending on the color. We also have XY axis. So XY axis is mostly used on our on our notice boards. Like on the notice board, you can't just paste anything like anywhere. So you put demarcations, and then through those demarcations, you know what to put where. So like on this one, you know where you are supposed to put something, and on the other picture to your right is just also an allocation. This is an allocation board whereby there's a name, phone numbers, and who is available on that particular day. And also we have got 5 years corner, as you can see over here, where you paste the before and after pictures and any information related to 5 years, maybe low stars, work plan, and everything else. So these are the key factors of success in 5 years. So you develop feasible work plan or action plan, and also the commitment of top management. So if you're doing 5 years, make sure you also involve the top management, training of 5 years, and also involve the head of department and the core staff. So it's not a thing that you just need to do it alone. You must involve whosoever is supposed to be part of this. And once you start doing 5 years, you are going to achieve the following. So there will be 0 changeovers leading to products or services diversification. There is also going to be 0 defects leading to high quality. And also there will be 0 waste leading to lower cost, and also 0 delays leading to time delivery. And there are also not going to be any injuries, and also breakdowns will also be lowered. So some of our friends have been practicing 5 years elsewhere. So let's look at some of the case studies about Kaizen. So as I said, Kaizen is also called the continuous improvement or continuous quality improvement. And it was also said it's a problem-solving skill which is applied. As I explained in the pyramid, I said Kaizen, on Kaizen, we focus of Muda, Muri, and the Mura. So our focus is to reduce those, like the irregularities, waste, and of course the overburden. So with Kaizen, which is actually a problem solving of work process by the staff, for the staff, and of course for the clients. So the whole goal is actually to change for the better. So on this one, these are just steps which we must follow. So the first thing is actually you select a theme, you do a situation analysis, you do a root cause analysis, you identify countermeasures, and these can be done in a month or maybe 1.5 months. And after there for 3 months, then you implement, and of course you assess for a month, and of course you standardize. So you notice that standardization is actually a key thing here. In the 5 years, there was also standardization, which was the 50th S. And this one also, step number 7 is about standardization. So these are some of the examples. This is World War in Japan, World War II in Japan, 1942. So maybe most of us are historians here, maybe at some moment we know that there was World War I and II. So in Japan, this is Tokyo, and Tokyo was devastated, as you can see over here. But no, you know what? Apart from that, the buildings and everything were destroyed. Some survivors remain. So these are the people we are seeing over here. So these are the survivors. And these people, the ones that remain, had to sit down and strategize and find a solution to their problems. So I've taken this example for a reason, because after the war, there were issues, so many problems, as you can see on the picture. it's a similar situation to us also as engineers. We may notice that at our workplace, we have got so many problems, and sometimes we say, no, I cannot do such a thing because of lack of resources or anything else. But you are the greatest resource, or I am the greatest resource. So as an engineer, whether I'm the head or I'm not the head of department, but I'm the greatest resource. And the solution starts with myself. And this is another, this is somewhere whereby this was before learning management. You can see how the workshop looks. Maybe some of our workshops also may look the same way like this one. And this was after 5 years Kaizen. So the same workshop now looks very beautiful. And this is another example of Kaizen. And this is a very wonderful example whereby you see, maybe some of us who work in the hospital will agree with me that at a hospital, we know that not everyone stays at the hospital. So maybe it's only health workers who stay at the hospital, and they are easily locating places compared to those that have just come to get the services. So if you just visit the hospital for the first time, you don't know where the lab is, or where the pharmacy is, or where the cashier, or where X-ray department is. So what they did on this facility was just to come up with lines. So if you follow the green line, it means you are following the exit. So when you go home, if you decide to go home now that you have done everything and you want to go home, so you just follow the exit, which is the green line all the way. So where it will take you out of the facility. If you are going to X-ray, then you follow the other line. If you are going to pharmacy, you follow the yellow line. If you are going maybe to cashier, you also follow the line as indicated over here. And this is a wonderful example from Malawi. So this is depicted from Malawi. This is Kasungu District Hospital. These are engineers from Kasungu District Hospital, technicians, which sat down and noticed that they lacked the trolleys. So instead of maybe going to buy, they had to sit down and work on this. And you can see here that the trolley is getting finished on the other picture. And now let's look at practicing of total quality management. So to look at total quality management, so what it means is we are actually focusing on these 7 managerial targets. So it means it's morale, high productivity, cost effectiveness, quality and safety of health services, moral, and of course good service delivery. So these are the things that actually looked from the top. So if you're assessing a facility, whether the facility is good in terms of quality management, facility in general, these are the areas which you actually focus on. So each department in the health facility is making efforts to optimize patient-centered care and improve their performance, services, service quality, and of course patient safety. So it's a holistic element. It's actually not a thing that one has to do alone. So you notice here that there's lab, maybe pharmacy, maintenance, and other departments. Everybody must work nicely in their department, achieving the goals of their department, which are in line with the goals of the facility. So if you do all that, then you achieve this. So for example, the frequency of searching items per day. Maybe you at first it was 12 times. So you had to search for things 12 times for you to find it. So after 5 years, you are only taking 2 times. You are only searching 2 times, and then you already find the thing. So it means there is a 4.1% reduction, and this has been done in 6 months. And this is another thing. This is a neonatal infection rate, which has been reduced from 6.3% all the way to 2.7%. So this is a remarkable improvement also. So it means we are looking at this from the top level. So reaching this far, allow me to conclude that by adopting a strategic approach outlined in the pyramid of management and leveraging the 5 years Kaizen total quality management methodology, healthcare systems can enhance processes and elevate performance to new heights. So 5 years Kaizen is something which every health facility must adopt. So it's not a thing that maybe should be done by a particular facility and not the other facility, because everybody and everyone needs good care. the quality of products, the satisfaction of clients, all these things are supposed to be done at every facility. So to us as engineers, these are the areas which we must focus on. So these were depicted from these sources. Actually, JICA has been on the lead because this is a Japanese concept, so no wonder that most of 5 years sources are actually coming from JICA. Reaching this far, allow me to thank Octane Alliance for this wonderful moment, because I know this is helpful to most of us who have attended the presentation. I should also appreciate the Department of Quality Management for the Ministry of Health, and of course, Physical Asset Management in Malawi, where I belong, and of course, JICA Malawi also, Ruth Tsingu and the team at JICA. Not forgetting Air Water East Japan, Mimo-san, Ayoki-san, and everybody else that have made possible that we should have a wonderful presentation like this one. I should say thank you. All the best. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you for your attention. I now hand over to Delphine Magera, the chair of the day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kapalamula, for the wonderful presentation on total quality management and 5S, and how these help streamline and improve maintenance activities and processes, as well as the overall management of the hospital. Throughout this presentation, there were polls that were put up. So if you're able to, please send your votes there. And now the floor is open to questions and comments. Feel free to raise your hand or type your questions in the chat, and I'll make sure to acknowledge you and grant you an opportunity to ask. Okay, so I see a hand from Raphael Piringu. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, presenter. This is a nice presentation and very excellent. Though it's long, but it needed at least to have several sessions for engineers to understand. But if engineers can follow what we have done, the KAIZEN, the 5S, whatever, we identify a lot of things. And you said we must. It means we have to do these things without even donor funding, whatever. And I just want to insist on leadership. It's a key, as you said, but mostly I emphasize on attitude. For people to change their mindset, they have to change their attitude first. Without that, nothing can be done. For example, the 5 years you have mentioned, I just concur with you. We have to start within ourselves as individuals. Let's go in our homes. We have the old bottles of cosmetics, the old shoes, whatever, which we don't even use. 5S, it gives us opportunity to say, let's sort them out. We can give people who need them or throw them like that. We go to the working place like engineers. Let's just on our own reflect on our offices. The offices are disorganized. You cannot even enter your office nicely, coughing, whatever, because of the way you have put your equipment. The equipment that have to be put in a nice way, coding them, whatever. It helps them for you to, when you want to repair something, whatever, as he has said. So for the engineers, if we are well organized, even our workshop, when people are coming from the hospital, they even feel nice if a nurse is coming to take a concentrator back to the ward, whatever. They see the concentrators are tagged. Some, they are red, it means they'll never work. Others, at least they'll be worked on. Others have been worked on. So this is a really wonderful presentation, and I really asked for, if you can share for some of us. I work in Zomba Mental Hospital as a director. As we are doing even 5 years, I can even tell you we have started a short set only for 6 months. We have recovered a lot of things. Some beds have been recovered. Now we are painting them to use them in the ward. We found even coaches for the theater. We have discovered a lot of things that were just hidden within the storeroom, and we are repairing them. Some we are even throwing them away, but others we are repairing them. So the sort and setting helps again for you to identify equipment within your workplace. So I've enjoyed this, and I think you have refreshed my mind. Thank you so much, presenter.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for the encouragement. And it's true, we're supposed to really do this and sit and shine in our offices, but also in our homes. If there are any other questions, please raise your hands or type them out in the chat, and I will be able to get back to you or acknowledge you. Maybe as we wait for questions from the audience, I have a question, Charles. I wanted to know how at KCH, at Kamuzu Central Hospital, you're able to audit 5S or make sure that you're sustaining your practices. If you could please answer that for me as we're waiting for questions from the audience, please.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Delphine. At the KCH, I will talk much about my department where I work. We are implementing 5S, as Dr. Pilingo has put it. Maybe you might have rightly hear from him that it's actually a stepwise approach, as I put it also in the presentation, that you start little by little. But at our department, we're actually doing an excellent work. So we have got a roster for 5 years on which every moment we know when we are supposed to do 5 years. Like in our case, we do 5 years as a team on Fridays. So every Fridays, that's when we dedicated that day for 5 years. So it's a day where everyone within our department, after the morning presentations, we go down and do 5 years to a particular place. However, we also do 5 years daily, especially in electronics. You may notice that in electronics, to our engineers, most of them, once you finish working, or maybe you were working on a machine and you failed to achieve what you wanted, sometimes you just leave things scattered and go. So we assign the responsibilities to different individuals so that at every place within the department should have at least someone who is taking care of that place. So as we knock off daily, so everyone makes it possible that someone has done something at a particular place. So that is how we are implementing 5 years at our department within Kamuzu Central. So if you come to our facility at our department, the moment you just enter our office, you notice that in this office, 5 years is really done. Thank you, Delphine.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. I saw a hand from Robson Micho, is it? Yeah, but I think you dropped it. So if you still want to ask your question, please raise it again. And we also have a hand from Timmy TSC. So I'll start with Robson, and then after that, Timmy TSC can ask the question. Robson, please ask your question. Timmy, you can go ahead and ask. Thank you.
So my question, I said, is going to both Charles and also to Dr. Bilingo, since you have experience with 5S KAIZEN. So my question is, imagine you have a workshop that you want to start to implement the 5S KAIZEN, but right now, maybe depending on the size of your workshop, you feel so overwhelmed to start the work. So you might actually just give up. I'll do it another day, and you procrastinate, of course. So what would you advise or suggest would be the allowable or the maximum number of hours you can allocate to 5S per week, let's say, or maybe per day? But I think it should be per week. You can allocate for 5S, and where actually you can start with the whole 5S steps. So it's going either to you, Charles, or Rafael.
Okay, thank you, Chimwemwe, for the wonderful question. I should respond by saying that the 5 years we are talking about here, of course, we are saying, like maybe in our case, that we do 5 years on Fridays. However, I also stated that we do it on daily basis. So it's actually a daily activity. It's not a thing that maybe we can say we'll do it once a month or maybe once a year. It's a daily activity. If you go to your workplace every morning, as I said, the 5 years is done just to improve the working environment. So it means your working environment of that particular day. Once you arrive at work, you must work towards your environment. So you must clean, do everything, you sort things and everything, and then you start working. As you also knocking off, you must also do likewise. You must sort things within your working environment, and then you leave. So we don't expect someone who says 4 is 5 years and then you go to his office and find things scattered. No, so this is a practice which is supposed to be done daily. However, in some situations, maybe in stores and elsewhere, we may say we may have a schedule, or at some moments we may assign individuals to be making sure that such areas are managed properly. So maybe as a team, you can say, okay, maybe on Fridays we'll have a dedicated place where we'll go and do 5 years. So maybe you visit, for example, stores room, and you do your 5 years there, because stores, you have got so many things in the stores room, and not only a single person can manage to do that. But if you arrive to work, I'll give you an example of the people working in laboratories. Once they arrive to their work every day, before they do everything, they start cleaning the machines and everything else. So that's 5 years we are talking about. They sort everything so that their working environment must be very good and conducive for them. So this is my response. If there's another addition, maybe to Dr. Billing, or whoever has also experienced in 5 years, can you please come?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I have the experience of 5 years. Of course, I'm a national trainer on that. It's true what you have said. We take 5 years as a football team, whereby you have got different players, strikers, midfielders, whoever, and there is a coach. And some people are even on the bench, but all of you, you want to score goals and win the game. So you cannot start 5 years if you don't want it. That's why the attitude to change things should be there first. Let's give an example like at the Global Health Informatics Institute. You have got different offices. At first, you have to be briefed about 5 years. Then all of you have to accept it to say, okay, we really need 5 years. So once you build, you have to build your team, you have to put the working environment team and the quality improvement team within the Global Health. It means every time now you have to say, okay, where do we start? You may want to say, let's start, maybe you start by 5 years, sort, set, shine. All the time when you are starting 5 years is sort, set, shine. Like here at Zomba Mental Hospital, we have started last month, sort, set, shine, and we have given ourselves 6 months because we have got different offices. So like at the Global Health, you may say, okay, sort, set, shine, let's go to the director's office. So all of you as a team, you go to sort, set, and shine. The next time you go again to the other office. But what my colleague has said is that the director, when coming to the office, he has to make sure that he is now sustaining whatever they have sort, set, shine. If you come to Zomba Mental Hospital, my office is the most beautiful office you have ever seen. That one I can challenge. And in fact, I'm able even to tell my secretary when I'm not there, when you come back, you even know that somebody has tampered at that corner of something, because now you are sustaining all the time. So in 5S, sort, set, shine, standardize, and sustain. Standardization and sustainability, they are very, very difficult. That's why Charles is saying every time you have to give a task so that somebody should be making sure that whatever you sort, set, and shine should be standardized and sustained. Example is at a petrol station. If you have gone at a petrol station in the washrooms, you find behind that door that would put a list of who will be cleaning the room every time. Maybe if you have gone there, Puma or Toto. So it means those people are trying to sustain all the time that room to be clean all the time. So 5 years, sort, set, shine is easy. But now standardize and sustain is really a problem. Now on the daily work, it's like now it has to be like your practice. You are going to an office, you find the office, your table is dirty, you just clean quickly, and you put your things nicely, and it looks clean. So that's the daily activity. But for departments like the Global Health, you have to be going department by department, sort, set, shine, you finish. Once you finish, so you have to find an activity, how you are going to improve your working place. So those problems he has presented, you have now as a team to choose one problem. And in 5S, it's like you have to choose a problem that when you solve that problem, you solve it. You solve many, many problems. So once you agree to say, let's solve this problem, and you agree a time frame, responsibility, whatever, you move like that. So that's why I was commenting to say in 5S, leadership is a key. Like here at Zombamento, I'm always there when sorting, setting. I'm there, part of the team and on the forefront. So the people will follow you. But if you don't change your attitude before you change others, in 5S it will not work. So the simple term is like, when you want to work with your team and you want to work nicely, everyone should change his or her own attitude before pointing finger to somebody. Even in the Bible, Jesus said you have to remove your thing in the eye before removing somebody, something like that. So that's what I can comment in a long time because there's no time. But this is really a practice that can change a working place. It makes you to be friendly. Things are easier to fund. You minimize the cost. You reduce the cost, and even the infections, they go down. I can give you several examples, but now this is what I can just give you, my brother, about the 5S. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Charles, and thank you, the Biringu, for your answers. I hope this answers Jimmy's question, and we're encouraged to make 5S Kaizen part of our work culture. This marks the end of our call. Thanks, Mr. Charles, for this wonderful presentation. It has been an educative session, and thank you everyone for joining and answering the questions, participating in the polls, and contributing to this talk. For all further questions, you can email us at info@oxygenalliance.org. Thank you all for attending this talk, and that's goodbye from us.